Hi guys, welcome to our video about how to create the Apple ID, right? One of the really common questions. So I'm going to start with the tutorial. I am on a google.com website, and this is where we will start our journey. So if you want to create an Apple ID, open google.com and just type create Apple ID. Although I'm going to make sure that I leave a link in the description so that you can directly access that, right? So now once you've got that Google page, you just click on create Apple ID, and let's have a look at how the page looks like. So it's just loading up now. Remember, in order to create Apple ID, you can do it from the website and from a new phone also. So I'm going to show you how I will do it from the website. So to start with, we will obviously put all these details. Now remember, if you're creating it from the website, you need to have an email address that is not being used as an Apple ID. So I'll just start off with my first name. I'm just gonna write test, okay, and as the last name I'll use Apple. I'll change my country, New Zealand, right? I'm gonna put a date of birth in. Now make sure you be very careful here what you put in, because this information is used to reset your Apple ID password, the date of birth I'm talking about, in case you forget it in future. Now the next part is really important. As you can see, it clearly says there that this will be your new Apple ID. So you can put any email address that you've got, okay, any work email address, as long as it's a valid email address and you can access the emails coming to that, because yeah, Apple sends you a code. We'll talk more about that in the future slides of this video, but just remember, put an email address in here that on which you can receive the emails. Like you can see here, I've created like a dummy account just for this video. You can see here on the top that it says applehow20@gmail.com. so this is my email address, and that's why I put this here. Now again, the next important thing is to put the password in. I cannot stress on the fact how important this part is, because you create a password when you create your Apple ID. So you can put it as the same as your email address password, just to avoid any confusions. You've got one less password to remember. You can obviously create a new one. Now next part is really important, security questions. These are used to reset your Apple ID password if you forget it, so make sure you remember the answers. You can obviously select it from the list that you see here when you click on them. Security question 1, 2, 3. Like I've already chosen these things here. So moving on, what is the name of the first speech? Well, I was Bondi. Oops, sorry. Okay, now you can obviously it's optional. If you want announcement emails, you can select them. Otherwise just unselect them. Capture code, if the code is too tough, click on new code, put the new code in. Now I'm gonna show you, you can, they are not case sensitive, so even if you type it lowercase, it doesn't really matter. I get this question a lot. People say, oh, are the capture codes case sensitive? No, they are not. So, and after that you just hit on continue. Now when you do that, it says verify your email address to create your Apple ID, and email with verification code has been sent to applehow20@gmail.com. Enter the code. Now this code is entered on that email address you entered there on the top, as in the email address that you want to be your Apple ID. Apple sends it because obviously they want to check if that is a valid email address. If you did not receive the code, tap on send code. You can always check your junk mails if you haven't received it, right? Now I'm going to show you a very important lesson here, right? And this happens a lot. If you put a wrong email address in that field, let's see what happens. See, this is my actual email address. Now I've purposely put in a wrong email address there, right? I'm going to refresh it. So my actual email address is applehow20@gmail.com, but just to show you, I've put in there applehow20@gmail.com, right? So if you make a typo, obviously you won't receive that email, right? See that? Tap on didn't get an email, you get further options. But yeah, so my Apple ID here, I've typed applehow20@gmail.com, right? So you won't receive that email. As you saw in my inbox, I've refreshed it, I still did not got an email. Well, if you have made a typo, tap on cancel, you go back, and then you can simply change that from here. So applehow20@gmail.com, that's my correct one. Now I did make that error on purpose just to show you. Put the captcha code in. I'll continue. Let's see. So again, it has sent me a code, and this time when I go back to my email, you will see that I've received a code. Again, this thing Apple does is just to verify that you've got the correct email address. This is my code that I've got. I'm gonna copy that up here, and I'm gonna just simply type that 620787 and continue. And well, let's see what's the next step. It's just gonna show you all the details about your Apple ID. It's just taking a while to load. I've got slow internet here, but usually on a fast internet it doesn't really take that long, to be honest. There you go. So you can see that is my Apple ID, applehow220@gmail.com. You can see all your other details, date of birth and stuff like that. Now remember guys, while typing that email address, when you are creating this Apple ID, you make sure you type the correct one, right? You don't want to make a mistake that I did, okay? Because otherwise you can be in a problem. You'll be like, oh, why haven't I received the email? Well, if you did like this, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button into this video. Like I said, put your questions in the comments. I will make sure that I address all of them for your queries. Alright, one more really important thing that I want to tell you guys is that you can also create the Apple ID through one of your new phones. Alright, so watch out for the other video. Cheers.